BTB Podcast has officially joined forces with SWSC, and things are about to get a whole lot more entertaining. SWSC is turning up the volume on the entertainment and launching a brand new YouTube channel called Sorta Local. It's all about fresh local content, live streams, new shows, and the kind of fun, off the cuff moments you don't want to miss. And yes, the BTB Podcast is coming along for the ride. You'll still get the same BTB show you love, but now on a bigger stage. Expect live streams from Wolves games, on-location recordings, guest appearances, and plenty of surprises. This is just the start. More details are coming soon as Sorta Local launches a new wave of shows and events celebrating the best of Sudbury and beyond. Subscribe to Sorta Local on YouTube and be a part of something new, local, and seriously entertaining.
Silver Cross Sudbury. Are you or a loved one looking for mobility and accessibility solutions in Sudbury? Look no further than Silver Cross Sudbury. Silver Cross Sudbury is your trusted source for a wide range of mobility aids and home accessibility products. They're dedicated to improving your independence and quality of life. Visit their showroom at 760 Notre Dame Avenue, that is 760 Notre Dame Avenue, or call them at 705-222-0700. Your independence is their priority. We thank Silver Cross Sudbury so much, more importantly, Dean and Chantal Jacqueline, who are the owners of Silver Cross, for making a difference in our lives and our listeners since day one, supporting our podcast.
From the cold of the north, where the stories begin, behind the bench, let the breakdowns roll in. Sports on the table, hot takes on the line, unbeatable banter every single time. Settle in, now let the good times last. You're listening to the Northern Ontario Podcast behind the bench. Behind the bench. Behind the bench. Behind the bench.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 239 of Behind the Bench. Hope everyone is doing fantastic. We're here with a different look this week. We told you Tommy's gone to Greece for vacation, and my goodness, we couldn't have thought of a better person to step in his spot. Ladies and gentlemen, we signed him to a 10-day contract. An OG member. I'm going to call him an OG honorary member of this podcast because he let us start this whole thing. Everything is coming up. JP Reigns, ladies and gentlemen. Michigan, JP. Those two words are synonymous together. And JP Reigns is here with us on a 10-day stepping in for Tom. So, JP, we're so happy to have you here. Thank you for doing this. How are we doing?
I couldn't be better. Honestly, if I was any better, there'd be two of me to have the basketball team for Michigan win the men's team win the national championship, the women's team having a really strong tournament in Sila's sophomore year, and now tomorrow, well, when we're releasing this, probably tomorrow, the men's hockey team in the Frozen Four. Combine all that with the Masters. Everything is gravy. And as much as I wouldn't want to have a 12-foot high snowbank in my driveway, I'm feeling like the Masters is here, so golf is coming.
What an intro. Holy.
He's electric.
We love it.
That other voice, ladies and gentlemen, of course, is Roberto Bagnato, who's here. Roberto, you've stepped in big this week. As well, we're recording a couple of our interviews that are coming out today, which we're excited to get to the people. Roberto, I know you're working insane hours and you move some time around for BTB. You're more on the business side, but we always love when you come on the mic. It is one of my favorite things when you come and snap it around. So, Robbie B, how are you doing, my friend?
Listen, Chim, I'll say it. The best ability is availability. Number
Bingo.
one. It's not the sexiest voice you hear. It's certainly not the most entertaining voice you hear, but it's the dependable voice. I'm the voice of reason behind the scenes. So, Chim, it's great to be here with you, but it's unbelievable to be here with JP. I feel like this is A, long overdue, but B, we've had an incredible last 20 minutes trying to get here to record with Chim's Wi-Fi, which has been it's
I'm
just
beside
been an
myself.
awesome. Yeah, it's been an incredible start. We had an interview earlier with a really great guest that everyone's going to be able to listen to with Jaden on the Cyclones, and perfect internet. An hour, nothing. JP joins. We jump into intros, first take, and absolutely down to the craps. So it
Like
is.
I've told you, 2026 has been a year of L's for me, and this is just adding to the list. This is just adding to the list. The internet, ridiculous. I can't believe. Hopefully, it sticks around here for the rest of this pod because we have lots to talk about, and I'm very excited to do.
Hey,
Sorry, Roberto, I cut you off. Keep it rolling.
No, you're all good. But hey, we're here now. We're buzzing, and this is gonna be a fun week for me. You mentioned a little bit busy with work, which is okay, but the Jays are back. They are not trending well, which I'm sure we're gonna talk to a little bit. They got a big win today, so they don't get swept by the Dodgers. But going to the game Friday against the Twins, which is going to be fun.
Let's
and
go.
then going to the Raptors game Sunday. So Vanessa is going all out. We're getting some good sports Toronto weekend. I would say the only thing to top it off would be the Leafs, but I think the last thing that anyone in this city wants to do right now is watch the Leafs play. So with that, Chim,
Fair enough.
how you doing?
That's a nice little 2-pack there, Roberto. That's amazing. Now this might be against my better judgment, but there is someone in the waiting room. We got all of 5 minutes into this podcast without him. Tommy Vlaus is in the waiting room, and again, I'm very nervous about the internet connection here. However, we're gonna try and bring him in just for a quick hit here. So stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Tommy Vlaus into the mix. There he is. There he is. Tom,
Oh my
we didn't
God.
make it. We didn't make it 5 minutes. We didn't make it 5 minutes into this podcast, and you're here already. It's vacation time, Tom. It's vacation. You can take it easy off the pot. I gave you. You're off the hook. I gave you the
Nice
pass.
hat,
But
bud.
how you doing?
You look nice hat, bud.
That-
You look good.
Thanks.
I
Hail,
was
baby.
actually
Hail to the victor.
I was actually just watching a bunch of reels, and I was sending some to JP and to Roberto. Like, I'm doom scrolling right now at 3:45 a.m. It's late here, boys. But I was catching a lot of flack from family members here in Greece that I'm like not joining the pod for 2 weeks. So I was like, I got to make it work to come on. So huge fans here, though. We have tons of fans here in Greece, Jim. It's actually like
Let's
ridiculous. Yeah,
We're international,
Yeah.
baby. I love that. I love that.
international.
3:45 for
international.
people who don't know. It's 3:45 in the morning in Greece right now. Greece time.
Pack
Tom
the
coming
hat.
in.
I noticed that's a prize for the Masters pool. Pack the hoodie.
Yeah,
Had to do it.
Thanks for
had to do
tuning
it.
in there.
But I got I got one story for you boys that you guys are gonna love to hear. Okay, and I actually wrote it in my notes so I remembered, but like I have to just explain it. Okay, so traveling to Greece, obviously we drove to Toronto because can't fly out of Sudbury. It's just a gong show. So we drive to Toronto and we get to the Air Canada gate in Toronto, YYZ, and we get this lovely lady, okay? One of the suitcases of the four, overweight. We already know. Overweight as in over the 50 pounds. So we're like, how we got to smooth talk her? We have to make sure this allows to go on the plane. Okay. So Paulie's like, work your magic. Do I want to work my magic? I'm like, Dad, you got this. Okay? Like, you got this. This thing, we put the three light ones first. The fourth one, 60 pounds. Okay? 10 pounds overweight because it's all the gifts for everybody. Cousins, grandma, whatever. Okay? And the girl looks at us and is like, ooh, you're a little bit overweight. Like the last one. We're like, is that okay? She goes, you know what? I'll let it slide. We're like, perfect. Lovely lady, okay? She got a little bit of an accent. So Paulie goes, where are you from? Okay. She goes, I'm from Czech Republic. Okay, from Czechia. Without batting an eye, Paulie goes, oh, you know who David Pasternak is?
That is classic.
That's crazy.
And she's looking at him like, what? Like, and he starts laughing. I'm like, this girl has nothing to do with hockey. Like all-time story. I said, Dad, like
That's
not
an
the time.
all-time
She
Paul
lets it.
Vlahos.
She puts the heavy load on the luggage, and after the thing it goes away. Like, because obviously when it is overweight, you have to pay an extra fine. But for him to say like that little small comment, I'm like, not needed, because it was already like she was already nice. We were already like sweet talking her, and it was already gonna
Yeah.
go. And he has to slide in like David Pastrnak because he's from Czech Republic, but yeah.
Well, he was feeling
Had to.
confident. He was high stepping.
And Jim, you've roomed with him before, but like I was posting some stories on my close friends on Instagram. He
BRE.
fell asleep. He fell asleep on this plane before he even took off. Like he was
Oh, yeah.
done. Like
Classic.
4 hours, the first 4
That
hours
is-
done, and then yeah, woke up when the food came.
That is
yeah,
classic Paul Vlahos.
It was a classic trip. But JP, thanks for
That's great.
stepping in, bud.
That's
and
great.
honestly, congrats to your Michigan Wolverines again at Dan. I didn't get to tune in, sadly, because the time change here, but I saw the box score, and I'm happy to see that.
What an upgrade for us, eh?
Not too shabby, eh, Tom? A good e-bug, not a bad e-bug, eh, Tom?
Better than Mace, and love the hat, Jim. I already told you that, but looks good, bud. I didn't even know you had one of those.
Thanks, bud. Oh, man, I got a few tricks up my sleeve here. Don't you worry.
He's a big
Don't
fan
you
of Silas Swords, Tommy. You got to get one too.
Big time. And I actually, I wanted to ask you, JP, I was wondering maybe if you were in the recruiting process for Savvy, did you try and sell her on coming to Michigan? Any talks on there? I know, you're big Michigan guy. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts there.
I was kind of obviously was hoping she would go blue, but I think position fit is better on Kentucky women's team. Like they kind of Michigan needs a bit more size. She might be asked to play a bit of a bigger role from playing like a 4 or a 3, where maybe she might want to play a 2. So I totally get that. And if it was up to me, she'd get max budget, max contract, NIL. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Little BTB
Roberto?
sponsorship.
BTB, and I mean, we can reach deep in. We know Tom loves to spend the cash, so I mean, let's go. Let's rinse the budget. Let's rinse
You
the
guys
budget. Away we go.
I flew premium economy to Greece. You guys are welcome, eh? We got
you guys are welcome. Thanks, Paulie Vlahos, first and foremost. My God,
extra legroom was needed.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Tom, listen, thanks for stopping by here, buddy.
Oh, you're kicking me out already, eh? You're kicking me out.
Well, we are going to keep it rolling here, Tom. This is a podcast. We, I got to keep things in line here. But feel free to stand by and watch it if you want. Tom,
have you done your performance?
I literally told you we are 5 minutes into the podcast. You signed in, so.
I told you I was going to bed, but
Tristan Ritchie, Lake City Realty Performers of the Week.
I told you I was going to bed. We all knew I was stepping in. We all knew.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you did well, Tom. Thank you for stepping in. I mean, you can get some well-needed rest now.
Okay, I'm gonna get some rest, but I'll leave you with this, Jim.
Okay.
22 degrees and sunny here today, bud. So I'll let you be with that. And
I saw that coming. All right. See you later.
I'm gonna go to bed. Thanks, JP, again. I will, guys. Okay.
Thank you, Tommy.
Okay, guys. As the Greeks would say, kalinita. That means good night. So, ciao.
There we go. Fantastic.
Kalimita. Electric.
He's gonna love this because I've been saving this till he got off. That almost felt like the Red Claws when he came in alive during during the invite. That is class. Let's listen to the story. Oh, so good. He's gonna love that. But let's keep it moving here, fellas. We'll go into our Tristan Ritchie at Lake City Realty Performers of the Week. Thinking about buying or selling a home in Sudbury, Tristan Ritchie from Lake City Realty gives you more than just listings. He gives you honest advice. Tristan will tell you whether it's the right time to buy or sell based on the market, your needs, and his deep local expertise. No pressures, just the truth. Ready for a real conversation about real estate? Call Tristan at 705-920-6109 or follow him on social media at Real Ritchie. Your home journey starts here. And I feel like I'm going to send it right off to JP here for our performer of the week. His performer of the week.
Yeah, my performer of the week is a person called Dusty May. That is the men's basketball coach at the Michigan Wolverines, national champion. The thing that is big about college sports these days is just everyone's kind of a free agent, right? And for somebody to put together a team basically with five, it's the first ever team that wins with 5 transfers, right? So it's essentially just all free agents you've brought in, and to put that together is exceptional, and it's not something that happens or has happened in the past. It's maybe something that happens in the future, but if someone's an innovator, it's him, and it's pretty cool to see that. And it's as much as it's a U.S. team, it's kind of Canada's team from my perspective, in that there have been a ton of Canadians that have played for the Michigan Wolverines in all kinds of sports, and so that's my performer of the week, Dusty May.
How good is he, eh? How good is he, Roberto?
High step,
Phenomenal.
and he goes right
High
from
step.
the intro. Takes, Tommy comes in, takes the little break, and then boom, right to the
Boom.
performer. I love it. I love it.
I did not know 5 transfers as well, GP. I did not know that is quite the stat there. Really cool. Really cool.
We got
Robbie.
lots of stats tonight, so strap in.
I was just going to say, everyone, somebody did their homework, so here we go. Love it. Jim, maybe I'll jump in next and then shoot over to you too.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the Wolves. I know the Wolves season's done. You guys recapped it well last episode too. We're going to talk about it a little bit later with JP too. But new since then, Jan Hovan signs an ATO with the Kings, which is really exciting too. Had an incredible season, 55 points, 60 games. And we talked about it in one of the last episodes right before the playoffs too. When that line was humming, that team was great. Like him, Nemec, and Lemieux were basically like the Wolves offense down the stretch, and obviously into that first round series against Brantford as well. So huge ups to Jan Hovan. And actually, Chim, as we were getting ready for this too, a little deep research we did. While he's from Slovakia, Jan Hovan's dad, also named Jan, had a great European career, 15 years in Europe, but played in the OHL as well. Played for the Belleville Bulls in the early 2000s and the London Knights. So son Jan making a little bit of a name for herself and following in Dan Jovan's or dad Jan Hovan's footsteps too. So my performer of the week, and off to the Kings affiliate for a little playoff push.
Great.
Jim, over to you.
Yeah, he really picked it up once he got that opportunity at the end of the year. Really stepped it up, which was fun to watch, of course, with Nemec and, like you mentioned, JC, quite the line that carried the load there. So yeah, great shout there, and a great story with his dad as well. Going to my performer of the week, it's going to go to Tark Bertrand, who is a scout here in Northern Ontario for the Kitchener Rangers. He hosts the RAC camp every year. It's really become now a tradition. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to be there this weekend, which breaks my heart because one of my favorite events to go to as a part of this podcast. Obviously, we sponsor it as well. Tark is a phenomenal person, and giving Northern Ontario players a chance to showcase themselves in front of scouts is amazing, and to give them that opportunity all weekend long. And we're talking about top tier testing, all the things you would see down south at the OHL level. Him bringing that experience and giving these kids a chance to come and showcase themselves from Northern Ontario. You wish we had something like this when we were kids. So can't thank Tark enough for his hard work and all the scouts. And I know Mama Bear as well are into it. And it's a full family affair. So a big thanks to Tark and his family. We really appreciate it. Okay. Well, that is the performance, fellas. I think since we got 2 interviews this week, I'm going to send it right off to our first one. We'll send it off. We spoke with head coach of the Sudbury Cyclones, Giuseppe Politi, as they are ahead of their first game of the season for the Sudbury Cyclones. So we'll send it off to him right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by a familiar face to the show. One of our original guests, one of our first 10 guests of BTB podcast. He's led the Sudbury Cyclones to 2 promotions as their head coach, who are set to play in their 3rd season, debuting in the Ontario Premier League First Division, formerly known as League One. Please welcome Giuseppe Politi to the BTB podcast. Welcome back, Giuseppe. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. Congrats on your 5 years.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Well, let's get into it right away. Here, Giuseppe, you guys are set to begin your campaign for OPL 1 on the road April 11th in the OPL Cup. How are you guys feeling headed into that opener?
Well, to be honest, we were unprepared. We haven't been able to train and come together as a team because of the dome collapse here in Sudbury. So we're going to do the best we can. Hamilton's in a lower division than us and struggled last year, but I think with a new coach and new personnel that it's going to be a tough fight on Saturday, and we'll put our best foot forward as best we can in Hamilton.
So you mentioned obviously the situation here in Sudbury. The dome's been down, and it's been very difficult for you guys to prepare, especially with a team and a roster that has players all over the province. How do you, as a coach, help prepare this team with the minimal practice time you guys have?
Well, we gathered in North Bay on Saturday during Easter weekend to try to bring the guys together, give them some sort of structure. And at the end of the day, it's going to be relying on what I know about them and their strengths and weaknesses and keeping it simple. Plus, we're integrating new guys into the roster. So we're going to give them a couple things to focus on. And big messages is going to be to stay positive. That's for the staff. That's for the players, because mistakes are bound to happen. It could be sloppy. It's not going to be the best version of us, but it's still something that's doable. And it is what it is. We're trying to just focus on what we can control. And until probably May 1st, we won't have too much normalcy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, and focusing on what you can control has probably been a good theme over the last couple of years. And Giuseppe, if we look back, promotions in back-to-back years, now you guys have made it all the way up to the Premier Division. Like, it kind of feels like a bit of a Wrexham like 2.0, and like our Nickel City version of Wrexham too. So maybe if we take a step back, like how did you guys get here in just the last 2 years? And do you guys ever maybe have a bit of a hallelujah moment, like, this has beaten, most people's expectations as well?
Yeah, I mean, did I expect that we would be in the top flight after 2 seasons? No. The first season was literally just proving Sudbury can put a decent product on the field and compete. Sure enough, we string some results together, and we kind of got lucky on how we got promoted to the championship, because someone who was offered promotion declined for whatever reason. Then we got moved up to the championship, or OPL 2 as it's now called. Similar type thing. We just wanted to improve the roster, be competitive, not get blown out. And sure enough, one result after another. We actually led the league for 4 months straight until the last match day, and we only lost the title on some sort of tiebreaker goal differential. So we've certainly exceeded expectations this year. Supposedly, it's quite the jump up in quality. So we have about a little over half the team returning. We've added some new faces in quality, and we're excited to get this season going and to bring the highest possible soccer we can to Sudbury. To be honest, it's equivalent, I guess, of Canadian third division. If you have MLS being the absolute top flight in North America, then you'd have CPL being second, and then Quebec, Ontario, and BC have this, OPL, BCPL, etc., first division. So it's exciting times for Sudbury, and it provides a pathway for youth players to strive for.
Yeah, for sure. Now, taking a look at the team, and you mentioned over almost half the team coming back. Maybe talk to us about some key returners or some new faces you're excited to see on the pitch and how you're going to utilize them.
Sure. I mean, I think it all starts with the with Connor in goal.
Yep.
He was recognized on merit for being best goalkeeper of the league last year. And we're still going to rely on people like Jaden Timmis, who's going to be a captain as part of our team this year. He's been there from the start. Timmy Aliu has been there from the start. Jaden Santo, guys that can put the ball in the net. A big addition last year was Isaiah Noel from Humber, who's done a great job in selling the Cyclones project and help us do some recruiting because we needed to up the talent level, going from the championship to the premier, the top flight this year. For new guys, I mean, we have a bunch of guys from Humber that are joining us. We have the Ilya, who's a big center back from Windsor last year. We recruited him. He was the previous captain of Windsor. So I'm looking forward to having new guys join. We have a boy named Matt Mills, who was a All-Canadian playing for University of Waterloo. So it should be an exciting time of mixing, the old, what got us here in the last 2 years, and adding in some new talent and proving that we can run a good show up here in Sudbury.
Definitely. And we mentioned it already, but let's dive into it. Obviously, the dome going down has been a big issue, a major issue, and we've talked about it at length on this podcast. But obviously, someone who's as involved as you in the community, it's kind of hit you on twofold, both the Cyclones and you being a technical director at Greater Sudbury Soccer. So this is Greater Sudbury Soccer Club, sorry. So I guess when the dome went down, what was your reaction? And I guess highlight maybe to the people the impact this has had on sport here in Sudbury.
Well, I mean, the reaction wasn't good. I was on vacation. My phone just started blowing up with pictures and messages. And I mean, it's hard to believe. But what can you do? The incident happened. Whatever happened with the snow, it's just how fast can it be repaired? It looks like nothing for a few more weeks. In terms of a disruption, is basically put everything to an absolute halt. So it's not easy to pivot from a facility that has that much capacity and then, just go back to gyms because the gyms are booked and we just can't make it work. So as someone so invested in the community with soccer, clearly Sudbury is behind. I mean, I'm going to stay pretty politically correct, but there's no other way to say it. We are behind, not just for a dome. I think Sudbury could easily fill 2 domes, but also turf fields. I mean, we only have one outdoor turf field at James Jerome, and that turf, to my understanding, has got to be 10, 15, maybe 20 years old. I think we only got it because Sudbury hosted the Ontario Summer Games. I don't remember what year that was. For comparative purposes, look at the Sioux or North Bay. I mean, their populations are smaller, but they have better infrastructure for turf fields. Without releasing too much info, I do have some info that more perhaps outdoor turf fields are on the horizon, maybe through the education system, but it's still a couple years away. So we need more turf fields outside, and we need another dome. There's just no other way to cut it.
Yeah, it's a really good point, Giuseppe, because I feel like it was even just around the time that I was playing maybe high school that we had, or slightly just before that, the turf finally came out. But it was easy to look at North Bay and the Sioux and all these other places up north too that just had greater facilities. So if you were mayor for a day, you were given kind of the open bucket of funding. Who would you model your soccer facilities around, whether it's Toronto or someone in the north too, and what would that ultimately look like? Is it 1, 2, 3 bubbles, practice facility? What would it look like?
Wow, that's a good one. I mean, I would like to see another bubble, but I wouldn't put it in New Sudbury. I would try to get it to the south end. What's always kind of like had me perplexed over the years is when I travel to different parts of Ontario for whatever job I'm doing in soccer, you see complexes kind of like what Valley East has. They actually have a complex with several fields in one area. Sudbury does not have that. James Jerome would be the absolute maximum, which is 2 fields and then the mini field. But if I could, be mayor for a day, we need space and you need road access. So maybe down by Countryside or something like that, where there's a lot of space, highway access, several fields. Some are grass, some are turf. And where the indoor complex would be, that's where your main club should have its office and all the equipment and all that sort of stuff. Kind of like what a real club should do. So, it's frustrating, but it is what it is. We're hoping that, like, I don't know. I have no idea what the city is doing, but I have heard rumblings of some educational institutions ready to perhaps invest in some infrastructure.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope for sure. And Giuseppe, I think you probably got Chimino and I's vote for mayor if you're going for it. So
Thank
We're
you.
all on the same page here. We're
Yeah.
all on the same page.
Wow, maybe you guys like hockey too much.
We have more than enough arenas. Put it that way. We have more than enough arenas. It's time. And to mention that, like, people may argue that demand. Can you just tell the demand is there for more facilities? Would you agree?
I mean, for the Dome, I think that, from my perspective, Greater Sudbury Soccer Club, we're in there almost 30 hours a week. We sometimes have to turn people away because we just can't fit them in. So it would be nice to have our competitive teams, for example, be able to have half a field rather than 1/3. There's little things like that. Our, pre-competitive program, they're only on the field once a week. Well, they should be on the field more. So I'm very confident that 2 domes could easily be filled. Whoever is investing the money would get it paid back in rental revenue. So I'm very confident with that. We also do need more grass fields. I mean, Alex is a teacher. I'm a teacher. Putting the entire high school soccer season on one field just doesn't work. There's not enough time. I mean, at the end of the day, the high school season is now 4 games plus a playoff game, and the games are reduced to 30-minute halves, right? We need more turf fields because the grass fields generally are not ready until later in May, and that's far too late. So there has to be a plan where, is there more turf fields? And then basically come April 1st, remove the snow. Get out there, shovel it off, get it melted, and get people out on the field. It's as simple as that. We need more facilities.
It sounds so simple. It sounds so simple. Hopefully, yeah, we can get there for sure. Now turning the page here, we'll go into the World Cup. Let's get the negative out of the way first, and then we'll get into the positive. The negative, obviously, being our motherland here, Italy, missing the World Cup for a 3rd time in a row. Did it surprise you, Giuseppe, this time around, and take us through your reaction to it?
Yeah, I think I was surprised. I mean, I think we can all agree that Italy doesn't have the best squad. It's not it's not a team of legends like 2006. The Euro in 2021 was kind of a surprise, but I really thought Italy had enough to get by. The red card compromised the whole game. Moise Keane missing a breakaway probably would have been enough to get us through. Even if we would have qualified for the World Cup, would we have gone far? Probably not. I was surprised that they did not qualify. But here we are, they're out. So, they got to look at themselves, pick some new leadership, get a new coach, invest into youth, et cetera, et cetera. And that stuff doesn't happen overnight. I would not be surprised if you see them back at the Euro in a couple years, very competitive. Some people sometimes take these events a little bit out of context. Not all is lost. Some more calmer voices have come out because I read all the Italian news, and there's something there to work with. There needs to be a lot of improvement, but Italy will be back. Now that they're out, we're all in on Canada.
Absolutely. It is insane to think that Italy won a Euro in this stretch, that they haven't qualified for 3 World Cups in a row. Like, to me, I think that's the hardest thing to understand, especially with that team being a carbon copy in the qualification. I think it was like 6 months later after winning the
Mhm.
Euro. So I think that's one of the craziest things. But I did want to ask you, now putting your, like you mentioned, we're all in on Canada, putting your Canadian hat on for this this World Cup opener, home opener, as we call it here in the North. But as a Canadian, are you kind of happy, that Italy is probably a pro Italy crowd in game one against Canada if Italy's there? Are you kind of happy it's kind of swayed that way? If you're looking at a Canadian lens, your thoughts?
Yeah, from a Canadian lens, probably. I mean, it's going to feel a lot more like a home crowd come June 12th in Toronto. I still think it would have been epic for all the Italian
Oh.
immigrants and everyone that's got lineage back there. I was kind of hoping that Canada-Italy would be a draw, and then they would both go on to beat Qatar and Switzerland and both advance and meet in the final. But maybe another World Cup, they'll meet in the final. It is what it is. Honestly, now that Canada has Bosnia, who are no pushover, but I'm very confident as long as Canada can have its best players and avoid, they've had a lot of injuries and stuff like that over the last little while. And, I know they have not won a game at the World Cup, but the Jesse Marsh has a good group, and I certainly think that they can advance.
Yeah, definitely. And Politi, on that one, we've got Switzerland, Bosnia, and Qatar in the group. So who do you think of those three games? Like, do you see like Canada kind of tying their way through? Is there a team that you look at that maybe that's a must win for Canada, potentially Qatar? Or how do you think they get through to the next, the advanced stage?
Well, I think the easy choice is, like you said, Qatar. Everybody's looking at Qatar as the weakest in the group, so you got to pick up three there. Switzerland, a European team, they're not great, but they're decent. So, look to at least draw there, and then maybe a draw against Bosnia and a win. Have I looked at all the permutations? No, but if there's 48 teams to start the tournament and then they go down to 32, that means obviously the top two will advance, but also I think 8 of the best third place finishers. So those are the things that, maybe 5 points will be enough to get in. And all you have to do is advance. If Canada could advance, that would be amazing. And then when you get to knockout stages, everything after that is bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, fully agree. And Giuseppe, if you're looking at this team, if you're Jesse Marsh, what are you looking at as your biggest strengths of the team, and what do you think is going to take you to kind of that next stage? And also, what are you looking at as maybe your biggest weaknesses of this current squad right now?
I think going forward, they're pretty dynamic. Jonathan David's kind of up and down. He'll have moments. If Alphonso Davies on the field, Tajon Buchanan, etc. I think going forward, and even in center midfield, they're pretty decent with Kone. Sometimes I think they can just be a little bit exposed at the back and conceding goals and a lot of space. So that it's not rocket science or anything complicated with Canada. Just keep it simple, minimize errors. I don't know if you guys watched some of the exhibitions they had recently there in Toronto. It's just some of the mistakes. You can't be making those mistakes. I realize it was only a friendly, so probably not everyone's at their absolute best, but I think they can actually cause some damage going forward. And you just got to have players get hot, right? You need a Kyle Larin to take his chances. You need Jonathan David to take his chances. And, I think they really can do this. I think they can advance out of the group. I really do.
Yeah, I totally agree. You convinced me. Let's go. I love it. I love it. Your thoughts on the BMO expansion, and maybe do you think it's going to be a logistical nightmare around there during game time?
Probably. I mean, Canada's never hosted the World Cup. You get different pictures on social media about these temporary stands, I guess, on the north side and the south side. It is what it is. I mean, I'm hoping that those people that are on those partial stands, even high up, have a good view. It's this is like once in a lifetime for Canada to host a World Cup, and it's a great thing for soccer. If you're not into soccer after this year, I don't know what to tell you. right? And
Yeah.
that's why it's so important. If Canada can do well and people can start believing, you can actually start to adjust that culture, because obviously we're a hockey country first, right? But Canadians can be good at other things, and it starts with this men's tournament in June.
Well, but Canada advances, we get 2 domes. They're calling it right now. We'll call it right now.
Sold.
Okay, there we go. All right, we'll go before we let you go here, Giuseppe. Our dynamic 5. It's 5 rapid fire questions. Whatever comes to the top of your head, let it rip here, and I will send it off to Roberto to take you through the dynamic 5.
Okay, let's start with, from the current first team, men's and women, who's your favorite player on either, Giuseppe?
Cyclones?
Sorry, Canadian soccer.
Canadian soccer?
Yeah, we won't put you in that position.
I was going to say, I was going to have to plead the 5th.
Yeah.
I would say on the men's, I'd have to go with Jonathan David, and I'm totally biased because he plays for my favorite club team at Juventus. So for me, I'd love to see him succeed at Juve. He's kind of been up and down, but I'm hoping that he scored a couple goals in the exhibitions, that he does well for Canada.
Yeah, and hopefully he stays in form too. Okay, let's go to the Cyclones. What's your favorite formation to coach?
I mean, we've given ourselves an identity over the last couple of years with a 3-4-1-2, and it kind of morphs into 3-5-2, sometimes 3-4-3. But it was kind of like, looking at what we had, and we were a tough team to play against. We did not concede a lot of goals last year, and basically the message is the longer we're in the game, the more we can, sneak a tie or grab a win here and there. So, they're all sort of permutations of each other, but that's what's gotten our success. And it's like in the last 2 seasons, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're going to change a couple little things here and there, but that's what we've gone with, a 3-5-2. The last couple of years, 3-4-1-2. I like playing with a number 10, which seems to be kind of lost in today's modern game because everybody seems to be playing 4-3-3. But I like playing with a 10 and with 2 strikers. We'll see how it goes.
Awesome. Love it. What's your favorite pregame meal?
Pre-game meal. I mean, as a coach, small black coffee is my favorite. For my players, it's got to be something about carb loading, pasta, that sort of type of stuff, right? Nothing, whatever makes them tick, to be honest, whatever makes them tick.
Love it.
Everybody's different. Some players, they want to eat a lot, some a little, whatever makes them work. Everybody's different, right? Everybody's different. And we have to respect that.
Exactly. Okay, now for the World Cup, who's your pick to win the Golden Boot?
Oof. It depends who's healthy. I mean, geez, I hope not, but maybe Harry Kane.
Wow.
I hope not, but you never know. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Right now, if I'm surprised, who's going to win it? Is that maybe the next question?
No, it wasn't, but let's go into it. Who's your pick? Yeah, who's your pick?
I don't know. I mean, I think the Spain, the France, England, the usual suspects are up there. I don't want to see Argentina repeat. I'd love to see somebody that has not won a World Cup do it. Like some sort of Cinderella story would be great. So we'll see. It all depends. It's still too early because Champions League's still going. You never know if you get injuries and stuff like that. But 48 teams, it's going to be exciting. There'll be a lot of drama.
Maybe a Cinderella story from one of the hosts? I dare say.
I would love to see it. I would love to see Canada, US, or Mexico go far in the tournament because it would be great for North America, right? To prove that we can compete.
Love it.
Yep. Love it. And maybe the last one here for you, Giuseppe, one that we've probably asked you now about 3 times, but what's your favorite go-to Sudbury restaurant?
I don't know if we had the Fast Five when he was around.
Ooh, okay. So this is maybe new. Okay. Yeah.
Go to Sudbury restaurant. I do love the multicultural food in Sudbury. I'm going to go with Damascus.
I
love me some Middle Eastern food. Yeah.
I had a feeling. It's dynamite. Yeah, I can't deny that. Well, listen, Giuseppe, thanks a lot for taking the time here with us. Obviously, best of luck the rest of the way here, while starting into your season with the Cyclones. We're excited to see what you guys can do in the top division, and we'll be sure to check a few games out. So thanks a lot for coming on here. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
That was the interview with Giuseppe Politi. Roberto, the guy's dialed. At the end of the day, he's dialed. You know, you try to get him going in the interview. You know, you try to get a couple laughs, a couple smiles, but at the end of the day, you can see the focus is there from him. So, your thoughts on that interview?
Yeah, incredible interview, Chim, and obviously you see Giuseppe on a daily basis there as well. But I really haven't chatted with him for a long time. See him at the odd event in Sudbury too. But it's kind of funny. Giuseppe coached me now about 10 years ago too, and he was the same back then that he is now. Like dialed, focused when it comes to game time. He is ready. And for a team with like very little preparation, we talk about it in both interviews with having no dome, nowhere really to practice with all the snow as well. I still think they're going to have a strong showing against Hamilton too. And both Jaden and Giuseppe are talking about just keeping things simple as well. So yeah, pretty fun interview and obviously a pretty cool take from him too, a fellow Italian Canadian as well. So interested to get his take and obviously listeners are going to really like that interview too.
For sure. If there's anyone that I would want to go into battle with that if we had minimal preparation for, it's him, because he always finds a way to kind of squeeze blood out of a rock here. So yeah, a big thanks to him for coming on, and yeah, excited to see the Cyclones season, and that's part one of our Cyclones episode. We'll get to part two here in a bit. We'll go to the Courtney's bulletin board and chat here. The OHL playoffs are well underway. Our Wolfers get swept. We did the post-mortem last week, kind of going over the future of the Wolves, obviously recapping this season that it was. Tom and I kind of went into a deep dive, but maybe just to hear a couple points from you boys as well as on the fan side of things. I know, JP, you went to multiple games. I think you didn't miss a playoff game either. So I guess I'll start with you, JP. Your thoughts on the Wolves season as a whole here, and maybe your thoughts on the Wolves' future heading into next season.
I'm excited. That's the main thing. This season was a success. You know, as much as you think at the start of the year, what does success look like? Maybe you don't say, you know, exiting in the first round, but when you look at the way the season developed and when you look at what was placed in front of the team, two things really stand out to me to define success. One is that we've built for the future, right? So we allowed our exceptional senior players to move on to greener pastures, to have a good run, right? And we gave them a chance at potentially an OHL Cup and MM Cup. So great for them, and we built for the future. And the second piece is we had some really exciting players take a step up in the second half of the year, and we saw some guys come into their own. You guys last week talked about Gonchar stepping into his own. We talked about the potential of JC Lemieux. You know, I thought a couple of our best guys in the playoff series was Henderson and Clayton, and these are guys we're going to be able to cheer for next year. Yeah, we went through 7 or 8 goaltenders, but I feel like we're good with the 2 that we've got right now, and I'm excited about Leonard coming back as well in the future. So as a fan, like, it's a great time to be a Wolves fan, and we're building towards the future. And honestly, the coaching staff has to be proud of what they achieved. I thought the staff and the players throughout the whole season, especially the players who finished the year strong and gave every ounce of effort in the last 2 playoff games. You know, in the building, you could tell that these guys really wanted it, and I really respect that. So I love that we're building for the future.
Love it, JP. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with all your points there. Roberto, you got anything to add on the Wolfers?
Yeah, I think JP summarized it really well. I think it was a successful season, and hand up, I think we've been pretty critical of this team over the last couple of years and the decisions to be made at the trade deadline. But I thought Rob, Jeff, and team actually did a really exceptional job this year of making some hard decisions and saying, like, letting go of guys. And I think that's a really hard thing to do. I mean, in the past, we saw it with Musty. We saw it with other players in the past too, Byfield as well. Like, it's really hard to wave the white flag in junior hockey and trade guys out. And it's also it's also hard to go out and get really good players. But I thought Rob did an exceptional job this year of saying goodbye and recouping some assets, but also building for the future. And I think, like, again, you guys talked about it at length last week. Like, JC Lemieux is going to be a really, really great player in this league. I also think that, like, some of the other guys, like Henderson, can be an incredible player on this team next year too. Like,
Really
you're
hope
gonna
he
need
gets drafted.
yeah,
Really hope
like
he
you're
gets
gonna need
drafted.
some of the guys on the back end to take a step up. But I think, like, Yulesy moving on, like, opens up a little bit of a space for Blonda as well to maybe take another step too. So next year is going to be an exciting year. It's like, do you add maybe a couple guys in the offseason? Obviously, they're going to have a decent pick too, to be able to add some first round talent. But I think it's an exciting time to be a Wolves fan, and they're building for a future and a new home as well, which is also exciting by the time we get that new rink.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, we do see the wheels are in motion there. They are digging. So let's hope that keeps rolling for sure. Yeah, good points all the way around, guys. Again, very interested to see who steps up and who steps in. Mentioned guys like Mason Walker, Parker Smith. There's a few guys that are going to have to, we'll see Finn Kearns for a full year as well. So very interested to see. We kind of came to the conclusion that I don't think it's a run next year for the Wolves. I think it's maybe a run the year after. But again, see, these are the issues you deal with the NCAA and all the hoopla around that now. Are you going to be able to keep these kids around for that long? Do you make a run for while you still have Artem Gonchar, if he even comes back? I'm not convinced he comes back next year either. So, yeah, a lot of moving pieces, but great points all the way around. And taking a look at the series here heading into the second round of the OHL playoffs, my goodness, are the comments flying on some of our picks, Robbie. People are not happy with us. And starting with the Brantford and North Bay Battalion. I kind of love that a lot of Battalion fans and a lot of Battalion supporters kind of came out and showed up in the comments. They think the Bay can take on Brantford. Not going so well for them tonight. I think they're down 7 Cobb after 2. So not easy. But again, they are playing in Brantford. I would say probably Brantford and North Bay are the two hardest places to play in the OHL. So very difficult spots to play. However, maybe I'll send it off to you guys. I think I had Brantford in 6. Robbie B, was it Brantford in 5?
Brantford in 5, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Tommy had Brantford in 4. He thinks it's going to be over quick. But maybe JP, your thoughts on the Brantford North Bay series?
Well, I look at North Bay. They've had a team that is scrappy all year, and that's what you need in this kind of situation to put up a fight against them. So, Brantford's just so talented. I don't know that it can come together. I hope it does for Northern Ontario. I would love to see North Bay get a win. That'd be awesome. But Brantford just so talented, and you saw that come through even when in games the Wolves might have outplayed them, but the talent came through. So I'd be surprised if they could do it. North Bay fans, prove me wrong. I'd love it. That'd be awesome.
What a program North Bay has been able to run. Like, we're talking about multiple series wins, even series wins in years that they're not making a run for it. Like, you got to tip your cap to them. They've found a good little stride here, and it'll be interesting to see when they finally break through. I think they will make a major run, and it wouldn't shock me if they make an OHL final here soon. And if any team's going to give Brantford a fight, a tough one, it's going to be North Bay. I mean, you go to Mem Garden, it is not going to be easy to win there. That place is going to be jumping. Robbie, you got your hand up?
Yeah, I get so. Hand up, stat check. I actually had them in 4. Tommy had them in 5. I think you had Brantford in 6. And so, curious, JP, how do you see the East rolling out between Brantford and North Bay and Barrie and Ottawa? How do you see each of those series ending?
Yeah, I've got Ottawa on the other side. Brantford and Ottawa, I think, are meeting in the other side. It's a bit of a homer pick, but Jan Eager from
Yeah,
SPAD
baby. Yep.
program in
Yep.
Sudbury. Always cheering for him in his 67s. So yes, there's a lot of great SPAD grads that have gone through the Barrie program as well. So thinking about them, but I've felt like Ottawa has been a little bit more stable in terms of on the back end and those kinds of things. Kayshawn Aitchison is super fun to watch and natural hat trick when he was in the building in Sudbury. But I have the 67s here, and then Brantford, and then I'd probably have Brantford over the 67s.
Okay. I like your take, JP. I'm kind of with you on the Ottawa side of things. I picked them as well. I think this series is a coin flip. They did tie the season series as well, so like this could really go either way. Will home ice be major? I think Sadlon Arena, prior also known as Molson Arena, is going to be. It should be jumping. Like, I think that'll be a tough place to play as well. I think that could serve Barrie in a good spot here, but when push comes to shove, I got Ottawa as well. And I think, like you mentioned, the stability. And I mean, you can't deny Dave Cameron as a coach. I think if you're looking at the coaching side of things, I know the coach on Barrie side's been phenomenal all year as well, and players love him. But Dave Cameron's got the experience, and I'll give them the slight edge there. But it's definitely a coin flip series when you look at the nuts and bolts of it. Roberto, you have anything to add on that too?
Yeah, I was just going to say that both today were nominated. Cameron and Dylan Smoskowitz were nominated for OHL Coach of the Year, to the Matt Layden Trophy finalists. So it's a pretty interesting one. My pick is Ottawa here in 6. I've also got a bit of a Pittsburgh connection. So it's funny, Ottawa's always got their hand in. They had Teddy Sawyer a few years ago. They've always got those Pittsburgh Penguins elites now in net, who I thought could have been nominated for Rookie of the Year too. Ryder Fedorov. When I was in Pittsburgh, I think he was 7 or 8, going through some goaltending training with my old boss, Mike Chase, on as well. And it's just crazy to see how he's grown, and now grown into, I would say, one of the elite goaltenders in the OHL as well, and probably a finalist for goaltender of the year too. So I've got Ottawa in 6, and obviously strong ties to the capital city too.
No doubt there. No doubt there, Robbie B. Okay, let's take a look on the west side of things here, guys. Let's start it off with Windsor and Flint. I think we were all I think it was unanimous on our end on BTB side. Everyone kind of went with Windsor here. Obviously, I think we're kind of going to side with Nathan Villeneuve and Alex Ferran, who are on that side there. Connor Walton as well, former Wolf. But Flint will be no pushover. I don't like, though, on Flint's side, you pump a team in the first round of the playoffs. Does that set you up for an absolute war with Windsor? I don't know. And I mean, Windsor didn't face a ton of adversity as well, but I will say, Windsor's got some dogs on that team that I would ride with any day. Liam Greentree is right up there, number 1. That's it. That guy's an absolute gamer. So I would lean towards Windsor. I have them winning this series, so we'll go with Windsor. JP, what do you got out of Windsor and Flint here?
Yeah, Villeneuve, Ferran, give me Windsor for sure. Rival of our guy Saginaw, GM Dave. I'm forgetting Dave's last name. Drinkle. Dave Drinkle.
Drinkle. There we go. Yeah.
SPAD guy. So anyway, to me, it's Windsor for sure. And give me the Sioux and a bit of an upset on the other side.
Love it, JP. I have the Sioux as well. Kitchener is going to be no pushover. They're going to be tough to beat. And again, winning in the odd again is very tough, especially when that place is bumping. However, you got gamers in Brady Martin, Cloutier, Reed on the back end, Fisher on the back end, but number 1 is Carter George. That guy is an X factor. That guy is a guy that can carry you to a final easily with his game. When you have a hot goalie, when you have a goalie with his stature, I think, it can be a game changer. It can be the X factor in a series. So give me Carter George on Fuego, and they'll take care of Kitchener. But it will be, again, a deep series. It's probably going to go 6 or 7 games. So I do have the Sioux and Windsor as well. Roberto, you can give me your take on both series.
Yeah, and little correction for you, Chim. Tommy actually has Flint. Flint.
Tommy
in 6.
does have
He's-
Flint?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got Flint in 6 and Kitchener in 6. I think I've got the same picks as you. I've got the Sioux in 6, and I've got Windsor in 6. You talked on the Sioux about Carter George. I also think like Brady Martin's such an X factor in playoffs. Like he's
Yeah.
exactly who you want on your team during playoffs. Like I almost think he's a more skilled version of like the Kachuk brothers, which is again a funny comparison considering he's 20 years old. But he's going to be an incredible player for Nashville for a lot of years too. So I'm going with the Sioux. I also want to give a little bit of a shout out, another Pittsburgh connection, Penguins elite graduate Christian Humphreys, who signed out of the NTDP, now joined Kitchener too. He's leading their team with the 9 points, 4 goals, 5 assists through the first round series too. So he's going to be an X factor for them too. That's going to be a close series. And then obviously between Windsor and Flint, I'm all Windsor now that the Wolves are out too, and hopefully Ferran can bring a nice chip back to the city too.
Definitely, Robbie B. Okay, boys. Well, they're the OHL round 2 picks here. We'll see how it goes. 8-1 was the final in Brantford tonight over North Bay, and I believe the rest of the series are set to kick off over the next couple of days. So, going to be fun to watch. Okay, we are going to send it off now to our second interview, gentlemen, with Jaden Timmis of the Sudbury Cyclones, a long-standing Cyclones member, has played with them. This will be his 3rd year now, an original member of the Cyclones. So a great chat with him and an interesting journey coming from Manchester, England. So we'll send it off to him now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by an original member of the Sudbury Cyclones here. What a treat. From Manchester, England. He has spent 4 years with Algoma and has been a key part of their back line for them as well as the Sudbury Cyclones, leading them to 2 straight promotions. They are set to start their season this weekend, facing Hamilton in the first leg of the OPL 1 Cup. Please welcome Jaden Timmis to the BTB podcast. How we doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be on here.
Absolutely. We're excited to chat here, Jaden. How are we feeling here heading into your 3rd year as a Cyclone?
I'm excited. Since the start, we've been improving year on year, as shown by the back-to-back promotions. So I think, it's only going to get better.
Yeah, okay. And this year maybe a little bit different. Obviously, we haven't been so lucky here with the weather in Sudbury, and our one and only facility's gone, which we've talked about at length on this podcast. So I guess not the most preparation going into your first game here. How do you guys kind of handle that? What's the mindset going into your first game here with not a ton of preparation?
Yeah, so it's pretty difficult. Obviously, we've got a lot of guys from all over, whether it's, here in the Sioux, Sudbury, guys from North Bay, GTA. So it's definitely difficult, to get everyone down to, every session. And obviously we had the issue with the dome, so that's been a challenge and made things a lot harder. So we know that we lack a bit of preparation going into our first game, but, it's just another challenge and, we're ready to get going.
Love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I mean, we talked to Politi, who's going to be on the episode this week too. And one of the things he was talking about going into the opening weekend against Hamilton is just keeping things simple. And I feel like you guys have done a really, really great job of that over the last couple of years. And if we go through, Jim mentioned it, one of the original Cyclones, promoted in back-to-back seasons. Do you ever take a step back, Jaden, and just think like, what a crazy ride this last kind of 3 years are? Like we've made the comparison to the Cyclones and Wrexham of, the promotion and now finally up to the premiership too. But how crazy has this last 3 years been for you guys?
Yeah, it's been wild. Honestly, it's been a blast, and it's gone so quickly. I can't believe we're here at this point talking about our 3rd season.
Yeah, at the top level, baby. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah.
How are you? What are you anticipating the competition level to be like? Do you think it's going to be a major jump from now OPL 2 to OPL 1?
It's hard to say because obviously I don't really know much about the
Yeah,
other teams, but from what I've heard and seen, I know there's a lot more experienced guys, like some older players in the league that carry some more experience who have played in this league before. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the standard is like and taking on that challenge.
yeah, love it, love it. Now let's get into your story here, Gene, because I'm very interested. Coming from Manchester, when did you come over to Canada, and how did you land over here? Like, it seems like Algoma was kind of the first stop for you here. So yeah, kind of
Yeah.
kind of tell me how that all happened.
Yeah, so I came here in August 2023. I came through an agency called Rebirth Soccer, and basically one day during the summer of 23, I was just scrolling through Instagram, and an advert popped up for an agency, which obviously was Rebirth. Filled out the application form. I thought, it looks like a good opportunity. They put you in contact with schools here in Canada. And then honestly just went about my day to day, kind of forgot about it. And then I got a call from Craig, the guy who runs the company, and he, explained to me how it works here in Canada. I'd already heard about the school system in America and how the collegiate level works over there, but I didn't really know um, what Canada was like and if it was, similar to America or not. And Craig kind of walked me through that and told me about the similarities to the American schools and also like the differences. And, it sounded really interesting to me. And obviously, been playing football, soccer all my life. So, um, yeah, it sounded like a great opportunity. So I went ahead with it, and he put me in contact with the coach at Algoma, Dave Andreychuk. And then we hopped on a call together, all three of us. And, Dave spoke about the program here at Algoma and his expectations and what it's like. And obviously, I gave my piece on what I'm looking for and stuff, and it kind of seemed to align. Everything happened like super fast, and a month later I was like landing in Canada, and it was ready to start.
The rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, honestly.
Wow, that's crazy. So it was kind of spur of the moment. Like there wasn't really a plan for you to leave home essentially until that ad came up.
No, not really.
Yeah,
Say
yeah,
footballing wise, I didn't have a team.
yeah.
And I was looking obviously for a new team ready to start the season in August, September. And this just seemed to fit perfectly, and it seemed like an opportunity that I just couldn't turn down. And
Oh
I
wow,
took it, and I don't regret it at all. I think it was the best decision I ever made.
it's amazing. I'm not sure where you are on your path to citizenship, but I mean, we'd love to see you. We'd love to see you get it, and we'd love to see you play on the national team one day. We'll take you anytime, anytime. Uh, but yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Cool story. Now, always interested to hear. Obviously, our grassroots, our academy system in Canada is nowhere near what it is over there across the pond. So, I guess maybe take us through. Growing up playing soccer in or football, sorry, in
football.
Manchester. Yeah, football. I gotta get. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard here. But
Yeah.
yeah, take me through. Growing up playing in Manchester.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been playing since I can remember, really. Um, started grassroots playing there just for like a local team on a Saturday. Loved it playing with friends. And then I think it was like around the age of 5, like it was pretty young, but I guess that's when it started to get a bit more serious for me. Um, I was actually at a birthday party at a soccer dome, and apparently there was some scouts there or something, and they asked me to, join a development group. And that was up at Blackburn Rovers. So, went there, tried it out again, loved it, and I was still playing for my grassroots team at the same time. Kept doing that, just kept working, kept playing, loving it. And then at 9 years old, which in England is like the age that you can actually sign a contract.
Oh wow,
Yeah, that's crazy.
crazy.
So at 9 years old, my grassroots team had a tournament at Everton's academy at their facility, and must have played really well on the day. And they picked me up. So yeah, at 9 I signed with Everton Academy, and yeah, playing there, I was there from 9 to 16. You know, that was it. It was a lot, but I loved it. It was, you know, it's quite far away from home. In England, it's like 40 minutes. I know for you guys that's nothing, but in England, that's quite a bit of a journey. So you know, I was up and back there like a few times a week. Obviously, it was a big commitment for my parents as well. They'd, you know, get home from work and then we'd jump straight in the car and go training. And that was, you know, that was my life for like throughout school. At the age of, I think it was 13, so it would be year 8 or grade 8. They moved our academy group, they moved us into like a normal school, but closer by to the facility. So all the lads that I played football with, we all went to the same school. And, you know, we were at that high school for 4 years. And that was when it started to get pretty intense. You know, I'd wake up early in the morning, go to school, full day there, and then we'd go train maybe once or twice in the gym session, get home late at night on a weekday, and then, you know, do it all again the next day. So yeah, that was like for 4 straight years. That's what we did. It was pretty intense.
Wow, wild,
Yeah.
eh? Nothing like we got here, eh, Roberto? Not even close.
Incredible. Hey, Jim, we think the hockey scene in Canada is serious. We're talking about getting scouted at 5 by
Yeah.
Blackburn of all, you know, of
Yeah.
all teams, and then at signing a contract at 9 years old is
Yeah,
incredible.
it's
And then, you know,
insane.
deciding and putting your head down at that point that you're kind of
Yeah.
committing to your craft, which is pretty remarkable, Jaden. Like, take us through, like, when you came through in 2023. Obviously, you've grown up in the European style of football as well, especially the English style of football. Like, what were some of the main differences between what you've been used to and what you were used to in Manchester and England, and then what you came to and were playing with through Canadian college as well?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect coming to Canada. Honestly, I didn't know anything really. So I was actually pleasantly surprised when I came here and I saw the level. You know, all the guys are fit, strong, quick. And I think in North America that's definitely emphasized more, like the physical side of the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know in England we are known for it being like pretty rough and tumble, but you know, we also, you know, like to look at the technical side as well. And but no, yeah, I was impressed with the level over here, and I thought it was a good challenge for me.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And
Um,
then how would you notice your change, like the change of level to Jaden between college and then your OPL, like League 3 and League 2 last year too? Did you notice a big difference when you're going between Algoma and the Cyclones as well?
Honestly, not really. I don't think there's much of a difference because I feel like most of the guys that play in the OPL are either, you know, currently playing in the OUA or at some university level in Canada, U Sports. And obviously the older guys, maybe they're, you know, graduated now, but they've also played in U Sports. So everyone's, I think, got that experience for the most part. And yeah, I think the level is still pretty high in both leagues.
okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
Now looking at Algoma and your time in the Sioux, obviously you get here, Northern Ontario. how's been your time here? How have you liked it in the Sioux, and obviously living in Sudbury as well in the summer times?
Honestly, I love it. I love it here in Canada. I love the lifestyle, the
Yeah.
outdoors. I'm big into nature. I like being outside, being in the sun, even though we don't get much of it here. But um, yeah, no, I really like the lifestyle, and there's a lot of emphasis on sports. Not just soccer or football, but loads of other sports that I've been introduced to, like ice hockey, for example.
Yeah.
I had no idea about ice hockey until I came over here, and now I absolutely love it. So
Love it.
yeah, I love the sports culture over here, and just the lifestyle in general. I really really enjoy it.
There we go. I'm sure the winter took you a second to get used to, eh?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say that's probably the one downside to being here in
For
Canada
sure.
is the winter and the snow. It's like nothing I'm used to. Um, but yeah, like this is my third winter now, and I'm still surprised at how much snow we get.
Oh, this winter has been the worst I think in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been insane here. Um, Now we also talked about indoor facilities a bit. For Algoma, where are you guys training in that indoor facility in the Sioux? That's kind of, I think, is what's connected to the high school. Robert, I'm not too sure. Are you guys there
Yeah,
quite a bit?
the
What's kind of winter sessions looking like for you guys?
yeah, up at the NCC, the Northern Community Center, that's
Yeah.
that's where we train. So we've been training there through the winter 3 times a week, and that's our schedule. We have gym sessions as well throughout the week. And we also have 2 teams entered into a men's league. The final's actually on Thursday, tomorrow night, so I'm playing in the final.
Electric. Let's go. I
Yeah,
love it. I love it.
yeah.
That should be some good stuff there. Oh, that's great to hear. Great to see a facility that's thriving over there in the Sioux. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I love it. Now, taking a look, your journey takes us here to Sudbury now with the Cyclones. How did that all come about? Signing here for the summer.
Yeah, so I did my first season at Algoma, enjoyed it, played well. Thought I did well in my first season. Um, and then throughout the winter time, obviously we were just training as a team. And then as the winter semester was sort of coming to an end, um, my coach put me in contact with Evan and Connor at the Cyclones, and I got on a call with both of them, and they explained, how they want to start this club and what their expectations are and what they see this club growing into. And I was just excited to sign for another club and have the opportunity to play football again all throughout summer. I think, what else better could I do?
Yeah.
So I was straight in. I was like, it's a yes from me, and yeah, kind of just went from there.
Very cool. So you're kind of just seeing, waiting it out for summertime. Like, was there a plan to go back home, or just kind of stick
Yeah,
around?
I guess say I
Yeah.
didn't at the time. I didn't really know the OPL system here.
Right. Right.
Um, so like in England, we don't really play throughout the summer, and that's like at any
Okay.
level from
Right.
pro to grassroots. Like nobody really plays throughout the summer. That's when you have your season break. So when I found out that, over here there is a season throughout summer, I was like,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna stay here, obviously. So
There you
yeah,
go. It's funny how it works. We're so accustomed to that. Yeah, didn't even
yeah.
didn't even realize that. Um, Now you mentioned Connor. Obviously, Evan's been phenomenal for the team. Connor was not playing the first year. Obviously, he was getting things up off the ground. Did you know he was the keeper he was the year one? Was there any rumblings about him? Being a solid goalkeeper, one of the best, obviously, in our city, probably the best in our city. But did you know that at the time of the first year that he was quite the goalkeeper?
In my first year, no, I didn't
Yeah,
know. I heard that he was a goalkeeper, but that's pretty much it. He's a humble guy, so he doesn't like to,
yeah.
talk about himself, very highly. Um, but no, in the first season, no, he was just like a member of staff, and we got on well, but I had no idea he was such a phenomenal keeper.
Yeah, it is unreal. Came right out of retirement, and yeah, no, he was a key piece, obviously. Last year it was fun to see him. I just to give you a little context, I played high school with Connor, and I played for Giuseppe as well. Grassroots in high school as well. So there's a little connection there. Maybe I'll take it over to that question now. Obviously, playing for Giuseppe, very demanding coach, but will get you results if you buy into his system. So how have you liked adjusting to his coaching style, and how have you liked him overall these 3 years?
Yeah, I think his style is definitely different, and like everybody knows that. Other teams and even ourselves, the guys on the team, we know that. But it's at the end of the day, it's a system that works and it gets us results.
Yep.
And we trust in that as long as we do what he asks, that we are going to get those results, and we've proven it so far. So I enjoy it.
Yeah, I love it.
That's
Love it.
awesome. And it's a good connection too. Chim, you played for Politi. I played for Politi too, and actually played with Connor, with and against Connor, which is kind of
Yeah.
funny. So I think
Small
now
town Sudbury.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You got it, Jaden. It's if you're playing football, you're playing on basically one team, and everyone's all playing together too. Obviously, you played with Connor. I played with Connor. Chim played with Connor too, and I remember that last season with him. Some of the best memories weren't even on the pitch. Really, they were commuting in between games, all from Southern Ontario up to the north as well. So looking into this season and maybe on some of the past years as well, do you have any good bus stories of some of the guys, and even going into this year too? Who are some of the louder characters on the team that you expect maybe a few more cool stories to come out from this year too?
To be honest, I'm quite a quiet guy on the bus. I just keep to myself, do my own thing. That's just how I like it. That's how I focus up for the game. It is usually me and Connor towards the front. I can't lie. Um, and yeah, the louder guys at the back. RJ, Chanley, Timmy for sure. They like a good laugh and a joke, and there's some good vibes.
That's awesome. Well,
Love it.
maybe, yeah, take us through, Jaden, too. Like, what's your game day routine? Obviously, you talked about the bus a little bit, like staying focused, staying locked in. Are you a superstitious guy? Is there a pregame meal that you always have to have? Is there a specific warm up as well? Like, take us through your regular game day.
I'm not really superstitious. I used to be when I was younger, and I felt that it was like negatively impacting my game. So I kind of learned to like let those things go and just let things be. If I can't do a certain thing or I can't eat a certain thing because I'm on the bus on an away trip, then I don't want to let that affect my game, because
Right.
sometimes it's out of your control. So no, I'm not a superstitious guy. There's not really things that I have to do before a game. I just take it as it is and let it happen. Um, in terms of food, I keep that pretty simple. I do eat the same things day to day. So breakfast would be like eggs and avocado, sourdough toast. Keep that pretty simple. And then a pre-match, I'm pretty sure most guys eat the same thing, just like chicken and rice, some carbs and protein. Boring but simple, and it works. So yeah.
Love it.
Love it. Dialed. Dialed. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So when people come to Cyclones game, I guess, maybe if people are new to this, they shouldn't be new to this by now, but if people are coming to check out a Cyclones game this year, what should they expect from yourself and the team if they're coming to watch?
I'd say we're a fast and dynamic team. We like to play direct. We're quick football. We've got pace up front with Timmy and Jaden, and like I said, we play direct and we try and use that to our advantage. Um, so yeah, I'd expect the fans. I was honestly surprised, even in our first season, for such a solid fan base.
Yeah.
To say that we're like a brand new team, I didn't expect there to be that much support behind us, but that's great to see. And sometimes it feels like a 12th man, and we like to say that we keep a home fortress. We don't lose points at home, very very rarely, and we'd like to keep it that way. So
Love it. Love it. And you've actually, well, your home fortress is on two fields. You usually during the year. Are you a turf guy or are you a grass guy? And I guess specific to Sudbury, which home field do you like more?
I like Cambrian more, and I would say grass
Yeah.
all day, every day.
Yep.
Obviously, playing in England, it's mostly grass, and doesn't necessarily mean it's good grass, but it's grass, and yeah, there's something about the game on grass. It's just different. It's hard to explain unless you've played on it yourself. But yeah, grass all day long.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Well, let's take a look a little bit into the future. I know you're more of a day by day guy here, Jaden. Learn about yourself, but what does the future? Have you looked into the future for yourself? I believe you got one more year of eligibility out of Algoma. So I guess take us through maybe what the next maybe couple of years looks like for you here in Canada.
Yeah, so I actually have 2 years left
Oh,
eligibility.
two.
In
There we
the
go.
OUA, yeah, yeah. So, and this past season gone, I only played 4 games because of a shoulder injury that I picked up at the end of last summer. So I'm looking to have another solid 2 seasons at Algoma, and do the same in Sudbury as well, and just kind of focus on those and let everything else take care of itself, and see what it holds.
Love it, love it. Okay, well, it's a yellow card for me, Robbie. I did, my homework was off there. But before we wrap it up here, Gene, I got one more question. Then we usually do a rapid fire round here. Obviously, the World Cup coming here to North America. It's going to be electric. I'm assuming you're going to be cheering for England. How are we feeling about the squad? If it is England, I'm assuming it's England. So
It is, yeah.
okay, good, because I do have an Italian cousin that does cheer for England, so that's been quite the rivalry. It's insane.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to you here. Your thoughts on the World Cup and England's chances this time around?
Going back to like the games last week, I know our warm up games not very convincing, to be honest. But to be honest, like with England, it never really is that way. And then when it comes to the tournament, we always seem to pull something out of the hat. And the past 2 big major tournaments, we've made it, almost made it all the way. But yeah, I've got to say it's coming home.
Yeah, there it is. And there it is, coming home. I love it. I love it. That's great. Okay, Jin, well, before we let you go here, Dynamic 5 segment here. It is 5 rapid fire questions. Whatever comes to the top of your head, let it rip. So I will send it off to Roberto here to take you through it.
Okay, Jaden, first one. No, you're from Manchester, so are you United or a City guy?
Red.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
I'm red.
Awesome.
I love it.
Support the Reds. I love it. We asked this to Giuseppe actually earlier this week too. What's your favorite formation to play in?
Ooh. Honestly, we don't play at Sudbury, but I like a 4-3-3. Sorry.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that's
Nice.
I don't think you can go wrong with that.
No.
Okay.
Agreed. What's your favorite pair of football boots that you've owned?
I only wear one pair, and it's Nike Mercurials.
Oh, nice.
There we go.
Yeah.
I love
Little
it.
Ronaldo shout out there. Okay, love it. Who's one player that you model your game around?
This is might be an interesting one, but Harry Maguire. I think he gets a lot of hate. Yeah, he gets a lot of hate, but he's a clutch centre back. He even scores goals when when the team needs it in the dying moments. He's there, and he's done it multiple times, and he's proven he can do it at the highest level.
I like that. That's some deep.
No
That's some deep
nonsense.
football knowledge. Yeah.
That's also a
And
true
he-
Reds fan there too, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he's great from the spot too. His PKs are phenomenal, which you'd never expect. My goodness, he's great. Yeah, I love it. Okay,
Awesome.
last
And
one,
our
Robbie. Yep.
last one here, Jaden, in our dynamic Fast Five. What's your favorite restaurant in the Sioux and your favorite restaurant in Sudbury?
Ooh. In Sudbury, I'm gonna go with I believe it's called Faux Max. It's like a
Okay.
noodle house.
Yep.
I remember I went there in my first summer. I visited there with my parents. And I'm a big fan of Asian food, so yeah, I really liked it there. Here in the Sioux, not much to choose from, to be honest. Um, I'd like to say we go to Chuck's a lot. I know that's just like a roadhouse, but I feel
Yeah.
like here in the Sioux, like, it's just a go-to place that you just go with your friends and, maybe watch some sports, grab a bite to eat. So I enjoy it there.
Love it.
Great spot with the lads. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great. Well, listen, Jane, thanks a lot for taking the time here to chat with us. Your journey's been very cool to watch. And again, like I mentioned, we love having you in Sudbury in Canada. Hopefully it feels like home for you, and excited to see you guys this summer. And yeah, best of luck the rest of the way. We'll be keeping a close eye. So thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys.
That was the interview with Jaden Timmis. Roberto, what a story, this kid.
So cool. So
Like,
cool.
unreal.
JP, yeah, like when we talk about, anyways, you'll hear JP in the interview afterwards once we're launched too. But he was mentioning to us he got scouted at 5 years old by Burnley, I think it was, Chim, if I'm not mistaken. And that's how he started in the Burnley Academy. Then when he was Blackburn, sorry, great call. Then when he was 9, he signed a contract with Everton, and that's how he joined the Everton Academy, and played basically football, and eventually moved away from home, and at like 13 to kind of be dedicated to football and take his studies kind of away too. So really, really cool story. And a cool story for the North, how he kind of discovered the Algoma opportunity was like from an Instagram ad of all things. So really, really cool interview. And I think that's one of those, Chim, as soon as we stopped recording, reinforces like why I think the podcast was needed in the early days. Like, I don't know if, Jaden Timmis' story is ever told, if not for the pod as well. So really, really cool one, and excited for people to listen.
Yeah, the fact that, at the age that he was, 18 years old, he didn't really have a plan on, there was not even a consideration to come to Canada or leave home. And the fact that, like you mentioned, just off an Instagram ad, and away we go, the rest is history. So, and he's loved Canada, and we've loved him here in Sudbury. So I hope he sticks around. And like I told him on the interview, sorry, I hope he gets his Canadian citizenship and he sticks around, because we love him here for sure. We will keep it moving, fellas, into our 4-pack, and it is Masters Week. One of the best times of the year, gentlemen. JP, I know you're loaded up with stats for this draft. I'm very excited to see the picks, the explanations. To me, this Masters, for some reason, I feel as though, like, of course, there's the Scotty Scheffler. Like, Scotty Scheffler is going to be out there, right? Like, there's no doubt about it. But obviously hasn't won a ton as of late, and hasn't played a ton as well. He's obviously just welcomed a new child. But very interested to see. I think it's a pretty wide open field this year, and some guys who have been playing hot, and hopefully to see a new winner would be nice as well. After Rory getting his Grand Slam, I think it'd be nice to see a new winner. So excited to see this Masters. Our Masters pool was flying today. We over 120 entries in a day's time. So fantastic to see. Thank you to 363 and Don's Pizza, who gave up some great prizes, and of course we'll have our merch door prize as well. But let's get into business here, fellas. The Masters. JP, maybe I'll send it to you to break down, your thoughts on what the Masters field looks like this year.
So to me, this Masters is the most wide open one in quite some time, right? Every big dog has an asterisk, right? For every big dog, it's like, oh, Scotty, new kid, right? Rory coming off the win. Morikawa's got a back issue. DeChambeau hasn't played real golf. Like everybody has reasons why they might not be the guy. And so Ludwig's too young, right? There's all these reasons why someone shouldn't win, but one of them will. And this is to me what is going to be one of the most exciting Masters because the field is so wide open, right? We've got some amazing returning champions to cheer for, and there's so much potential in this Masters. So I'd really encourage people, if you haven't watched the Masters closely, now's the time. Put your stakes in. Get aligned with some of these young guys that you can follow for a while, for a few years, because this crop of players that are going to be watching this weekend is going to be around for a while.
What a breakdown! And look at Chim.
I'm taking L's. I'm coming in on mute here. Oh my God, I'm taking L's left and right here. Great breakdown, GP. Couldn't agree more on the wide openness of the field. I mean, let's get into it. Robbie B, you did have Michigan in the 4-pack, so I'll tip my cap to you. You did win that 4-pack overall. However, and you had UConn, unreal. So you really smoked everyone in that 4-pack.
Yeah, thanks.
But I think you would agree with me. I think we have to send it to our guest of honor to set the
100%.
order, if you so should. Yeah, okay. So
100%.
JP, we'll let you set the order here for the Masters 4-pack.
Okay, so Masters 4-pack. I'm gonna get the snake portion for sure. I'm gonna let you guys lead. I'll give Robbie the bullet for winning. Good on you. And Scotty Scheffler has a 2 times more. He's 2 times more likely than any other individual player to win. So I'll leave you with that. What I will say is that I'd love to go 4-pack plus the amateur line, ladies and gentlemen, because the amateur line, is really critical. The Masters, more than any tournament, really celebrates its amateurs, and so I'd love to see us each take at least one amateur here.
Okay, so we'll make it a 5-pack. We'll make the last round. We'll make the last round amateurs. Let's do it. Okay.
Apologies to the graphics people, but this could be fun.
I like it. I love it, GP. Okay, Roberto, we'll send it to you. Who do you got?
I mean, JP teased it, and maybe it's maybe you wanted me to go this route just for your own picks, but hey, you know what? I'm going Scheffler. I think he's going to have some secret dad power that'll come out and kind of bring him back to Masters glory. So give me Scotty.
He's taking Chef. I mean, not a bad pick at all, Roberto. You can't deny that.
Thank you.
Okay. Where am I going to go here, fellas? It can go either way, but you know what? I'm going to take it. I do think, JP, you did mention can you call it real golf on Live? There's no denying it. He's been dominating Live. He's been playing some great golf. He's been dominating the YouTube space as well. The guy was very close to winning it all last year. Maybe I'd suggest him, not to putt on someone's backyard putting green the night before you play the final round of the Masters this year. I think he's learned his lesson. He brought Kevin Hart on the bag for the Wednesday par 3 contest. We'll see if that proves any luck. I'll go with Bryson DeChambeau at my second pick.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. I would just call attention to his Sunday round of last year and hope that doesn't befall you once again this year. Good call on the putting green, though.
Yeah.
YouTube followers aside, I'm going to have to go with John Rahm. I don't know how many followers he has on YouTube. I think it should be 0. But John Rahm is former champ. His recent form, yes, on Live Golf, but if you're looking at what he's been doing, strokes gained on approach, he's one of the best players right now, and with top 3 finishes in 4 of the last 5 times he's played golf, he's no stranger to the podium. So give me John Rahm to go there, the big Spaniard. Next, coming back, probably the steadiest guy that anyone out there is thinking, okay, I'm gonna pick a guy to finish top 10 this weekend, and it's gonna be my guy Tommy Fleetwood. Give me the Brit.
Ooh,
Such a good pick. Yeah.
Just so steady, and Tommy, having won late last year in the big tournament, hasn't really won a major yet, but it's coming for him. And Fleetwood for the green jacket for me.
I love it, JP. I was hoping Tommy would have dropped to me here in the second round. It's a phenomenal pick. The guy just oozes. There's something about it. It's so easy to cheer for Fleetwood. So yeah, I love that pick. All right. Well, that kind of put a wrench in what I wanted to do here, fellas. So I really had my 2-pack plan, but I'm gonna go with a guy who's been great at Augusta, and I think could have a breakthrough. It is Ludwig. We're gonna go Ludwig Aubert here. So again, another guy that I think just oozes a guy that can be a Masters champion any day of the week. So we'll go with him. I'm happy to get him in the second round. Robbie, back to back.
Okay, back to back jacks. I'm going Justin Rose. I feel like he's
Rosie.
just always in and around Masters contention. And obviously just about won it last year too. So I'm gonna go Rose with my first pick. Second, the Canadian, Corey Connors. I feel like he's always has a good Masters. I don't know, like,
You're right.
how in form he is right now. But hey, strong showing the last few years. So give me Corey Connors.
Yeah, you're gonna have the best non-competitive top 10 out of him. If he gets into the top 10, you'll never see him anywhere on TV, but he'll sneak in backdoor with a 9th place finish. Even though I think his best finish in the last 5 tournaments has been like 25th or something like that, but he shows up at the Masters.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I think one of the coolest things is him having the course record at the ID from the tips during Ontario Am. I think it's one of my favorite. And I believe that year, that first round he played, he shot 72 with 18 pars. Insane. And then went and shot the course record the next day. So, I mean, unreal. That is, when we're talking about white whales on this podcast, I would love to get Corey Connors to talk about that round. He probably doesn't even remember it that much. But to me, it means a lot. So I would love to have him on. Okay, guys, really excited this guy fell to me in the third round. He's been fun to watch. Give me Matty Fitzpatrick, and been playing well. So I'm going to go with Fitz. There's been a lot of buzz around his game heading into the Masters. So let's go with Fitzpatrick, a major winner. So very happy to get him here late. So we'll go with him. And JP around the horn.
Makes sense. Another guy who's phenomenal, strokes gained on approach, and just a quality person. For anyone who hasn't seen the documentary Full Swing, it's very much worthwhile watching with him. Around the horn. So this is officially the third round, and the fact that I'm going to get the defending champ Rory McIlroy at this point is pretty wild. I don't know how much I love about Rory, like playing free at this point. Like, he's not really a guy that I trust with a lot of house money. But I love the fact that he's already cashed in. So gonna go with Rory McIlroy. And then on the way back through, because this is my last pick, there are other guys that I probably bet on first. But the player in the field, this is the Augusta National. If you can move the ball from right to left, you're in good shape. And there are at least 4 holes where you got to move the ball right to left off the tee. And there's one player that does this more than any other player on tour at 79%, moving the ball right to left. Akshay Bhatia Give me the
Oh!
long left-handed hitter. He hits a
Wow.
nice little cut, which I hit a big left slice. So when I see a guy hit a nice little cut, it makes my shot feel like it could be playable. So Akshay Bhatia on the way back. Thank you very much.
Stat guy JP, we love it.
Okay, JP. Yeah, been phenomenal here. Okay. Am I going to go? Do I just go some nuts off the board? Here's I'm looking at a lot of players here, but there's one guy. One of my friends is going to love. Kevin McClellan's going to love that. I'm going to do it for him. I'm going to do it solely for Kevin. I'm going to take him because this guy's kind of he's at a top 15. He finished top 9 last year, kind of around if he keeps his temper in check. Another live guy. I'm going to go full. I'm going to go, I'm going to split in half here, live and PJ. Give me Terrell Hatton as my dark horse, fellas. Give me Terrell Hatton. Oh, yeah.
Never even heard of the guy before, Chip. That doesn't mean a lot, but hey.
I bet you JP doesn't have any stats on Terrell Hatton to date.
So when you said, he's fired up, he's the most mercurial player on tour, and he has done well at the Masters, right? So T14 last year, and then T10 the year before. So he can catch fire for sure, and I love to see him on TV. So that's a player that is enjoyable to watch. So good pick.
Okay, Robbie B, we got to spice up the board.
Yeah, I like the little spiciness. I'm gonna go with Cam Young. I feel like not a great showing last year. The 24 and 23 had a great Masters tournament too. I feel like it's a little bit of a redemption tour, and I don't know. I'm just going on the board that great golfer. I really don't got.
He's won this year too. He's been in great form. So
thank you guys.
Yeah, JP, any stats on Cam?
Phenomenal. Obviously, he won the last tournament, so he's off the tee, one of the best players off the tee, which you like to see. Around the greens is where he's struggled so far this year, so that's where you gotta bite your lip a little bit with Cam Young. But I think for having the 6th or 7th best odds, Cam Young's in a really good spot.
Love it. Okay, now it's amateur hour, boys. Here we go. It's amateur hour. Roberto, it's back to you. What amateur are you going with? There's only 6 to pick from here.
Okay, so I was actually going to say, and Chim, you let me know because I don't think your pick changes here. But for somebody who I kind of want JP to have first dibs on the amateur here, Chim. I don't know how you feel about that, but
let's go reverse order. This
5-pack is a 5-pack because of JP. So JP, I feel like you get the honors here.
All right.
Well, I'm pretty happy to get that. To be honest, to go with the first amateur because I have one guy who stands out above the rest, and not just because of his name, because there's one amateur that stands out because of his name. I think Chimino's going to pick him, but I'm going to go with Mason Howell, the U.S. amateur champion. He's starting in a group, phenomenal group. I think he's playing. So the U.S. amateur always plays with the defending champion. So tomorrow he's playing with Rory, which is going to be spectacular for a high school senior who is enrolling at the University of Georgia next year. So Mason Howell, give me Mason Howell, who's staying at the Crow's Nest along with all the other amateurs.
Okay. GP, some good research. I don't think I'm going to take the guy you think. I just like this guy's story. This guy's story. Making his Masters debut at 38, and he is a flyer.
Yeah.
He is a flyer. He's probably the guy that's going to play the worst, but I'm going to take him because I love it. Let's go Brandon Holtz, the U.S. Mid-Am champion, former pro turned amateur again, so he's making his Masters debut at 38. A little experience, not so much so at the Masters, but in golf in general. We'll go with it. So I'll ride with Brandon Holtz. Let's go.
Also a gamer though, Chim. This is a former Division I basketball player, so you're getting an athlete, a Gary Woodland type.
I like it. I'm really happy with this pick now.
I love that. Okay, I'm also not going for our. I was gonna say countryman, Matteo Pulcini, which is I think who JP thought Chim. Maybe you were going to the Argentinian, but I'm going with Ethan Fang, the 20-year-old from Texas, as well as at Oklahoma State as a junior, but seems to be not a bad pick. I mean, you're talking to the non-golf guy on the pod too, but world amateur ranking of 8th. He had a nice win at the British Amateurs as well this year too. So I don't know. Maybe coming in, I can give him a little nice juju as well. But I'm going to go over to my stat guy, JP. JP, any insights on Ethan Fang and why he is going to be the top AM?
Ethan Fang's a popular pick, to be honest. He's a big analytics guy, so he's kind of a darling in that neighborhood. But the one that I thought you guys might pick was FIFA Lapacti, and he's named after FIFA. Like, this is a soccer guy. So for anyone who's soccer people that are watching the Masters, look out for FIFA Lapacti.
I love it. I love it, JP. I wonder if it'll be $2,500 to go watch him play one day. Shut up, FIFA. I love it. All right. Well, into our last segment here. Just missed it. Well, anything we missed, guys? JP, anything else? I gave you a little bit of a Florida, Michigan. I mean, now's the time. Anything else you wanted to add on to the Michigan run that you have been on? I mean, what a run it's been to be a fan of Michigan. My goodness.
So the Wolverines, if you're listening to this on Thursday, the Wolverines are playing at 5:30 p.m. in the Frozen Four, right? So men's hockey, it is happening. What I would say is that there's a dream matchup potentially. If Michigan wins their side of the Frozen Four, playing potentially against North Dakota, right? So if you get on Saturday, 5:30 p.m., pull the kids into the room, find the best space to watch this game, because you're going to find some awesome hockey, just some of the best possible hockey happening. If North Dakota is playing Michigan, you're going to see Michael Hage, for the Habs fans, is a phenomenal player. And for those OHL fans in the room, Jack Ivankovic, who was with Team Canada World Juniors in net for Michigan. My cousin Marty Turco mentored him quite a bit throughout the year. So he's a phenomenal freshman in net. So really hoping that they can make it. But I'd love to see them play North Dakota, who's been really one of the best teams in the country as well. Keaton Verhoff, who you probably remember from World Juniors as well. And Will Zellers is another one of their big players. So this is a third-round pick. He's playing for North Dakota. And then Cole Reshny, another player you've seen a bunch. He's a Flames draft pick, first-round pick. So the Frozen Four is a phenomenal thing to watch. Great cap to the night on Saturday after watching the Masters.
Unreal. Love it, JP. That is great. Couple former Wolves. There are the Wolverines, but former Sudbury Wolves as well, JP. Yes. Matthew Mania, as well as Henry Muse, who's been out with an ACL injury all year. But yeah, a little Sudbury Wolves connection there as well, which is cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Henry Muse is going to go down as one of the most potential Wolves what if moments, right? Like what if those rules are different and he plays with us and all those kinds of things. So I was really pulling for him. Too bad both those guys got hurt, but lots of connections there into the Wolverines. And shout out to local legend John Arnold, who was on the 1996 Michigan Wolverines national championship team. The last one in 98. So it's been a while. It was a while for the basketball team, so it's time now for the hockey team.
Okay. Could you imagine what a heater you'd be on, JP, if they get it done? My goodness, that'd be unreal. Unreal. Yeah. Okay, boys. Well, anything else, Roberto? You got, yeah.
Jim, maybe one. We didn't talk about the Cubs. NOJHL final here coming to Timmins versus the Cubs. I don't know. I don't think they've announced when it's starting yet, because I think the Rock and Hearst start. We're just ending tonight, but Timmins had a pretty commanding lead in that last game, 5-1 too. So that'll be the finals. I don't know when we'll kick off too, but another finals for Sudbury legend Daryl Moxham.
Oh yeah, SPAD as well. There we go, boys. SPAD connections all the way around. They looks like it's set to begin April 18th, so a little bit of a break here. Well, they might start a little bit earlier now that both teams swept, so we'll see. But reading on the NOJHL website does say an April 18th start, so we'll see. We'll see if that holds true or if they start a little earlier as well. But both the sweep on both ends here. Sudbury sweeps Sioux Eagles and Timmins sweeps Humber. I'm looking at Lumberjacks here, the Hearst Lumberjacks. My goodness. But yeah, it should be a good final. I mean, Timmins, talk about arenas that are tough to play in. The MAC is going to be firing this finals. So it's going to be fun to watch for sure. Okay, boys. Well, I think that is going to do it here for week 239 of Behind the Bench. JP, thank you so much for signing the 10-day with us. You were phenomenal. You are welcome on this podcast, of course, anytime. And it's been a real pleasure. And we'll keep in touch for next week. I think we'll give you the call once again. But yeah, really appreciate you taking the time, of course, and joining the pod here for this week.
My pleasure, guys, and shout out to Mason Money Savage for editing this.
I love it. Roberto, any
Awesome.
final words?
No, just wanted to say, JP, thank you and appreciate it. Even though you're on the road, the dedication to the pod and obviously Sudbury Sports still stay strong too. So I want to thank you for that. And boys, just like that, another week wrapped up. So Chim, over to you.
Another one. Yeah, a great one, a lengthy one, but nonetheless, a great one. 2 great interviews, and I mean, the boys snapping it around here. Tommy with an all-time story as well. I know you people will enjoy that one. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week. Love y'all. Ciao.